Realest niggas in the game left. Realest niggas in the game left.
Alright, here we go. This is my second setup for today. This is my Mag.Templar. This is for Endgame PVE. I haven't really got the Endgame PvP with him yet, but this is my PvE setup. A lot of people probably use a lot of these sets, but let's start out my stats. Get buffed up here. So my stats are looking at right now. Only thing I would like to kind of get more of is maybe magic recovery, but not too stressed about it. I actually kind of like my resistances being higher, but I haven't really had a problem yet with any endgame content. Let's see. Sets I'm wearing right now is I have 2-piece Vicious Death Swords on my back bar. I'm using my Maelstrom Resto. I have a few different Maelstrom Restos. I'm using Precise right now because it gives me a drastic increase in my crit, and I've been using Puncturing Sweep when I'm with actual good groups where I don't have to just constantly heal. I can actually DPS. But we'll get into that in a second. Other than the weapon sets, my weapon sets are completely different than my armor sets. My armor sets, I'm wearing 5-piece Spell Power Cure. Adds max Magicka spell damage, and when you heal an ally when they're already at 100% health, they have a 50% chance of granting them 252 increased weapon and spell damage for 10 seconds. And that will stack on top of anything, so there's not really anything that will negate that. That's just my ability to whoever I'm healing. So if I already have anything that has any sort of AoE healing and you're already full health and I throw a shield on you and just any type of healing while you're already at 100%, you have a 50% chance of getting Spell Power Cure. So usually, honestly, I mean, that'll happen. It's pretty much 100% chance if you're healing a lot. Other than that, I'm using my Infallible Aether, which I got from raiding. Infallible Aether speaks for itself. I mean, it just has every single ability is good on an Infallible Aether. And when I do my heavy attacks on people, I'm actually increasing their damage taken by 8%, which is pretty ideal. So while I'm sitting back healing, usually I'll throw 2 shields up, AoE heals, for any type of AoE resistances, and then I'll hold down a heavy attack on each target, and you'll see a little purple beam come up from underneath them, and that's when you know you hit them with Infallible Aether. And honestly, for Infallible Aether, you don't even have to hold a full heavy attack, you can just hold it as long as that. Just like a second and a half, and you'll inflict them with that 8% increased damage. And that's for all your party members too. So I mean, this is a really support heavy build. It's made to give damage to my teammates and then also inflict the enemies with more damage, or make it so that they can be inflicted with more damage. But yeah, I got my Spell Power Cure. That's all from white gold tower farming. It's not all the ideal pieces I would need. I would like to have all divines and infused on my heavy pieces, because right now I'm using the mage for increased max magicka. I stacked as much max magicka as I could into this character. But yeah, my back bar I don't have nearly as much max magicka, which is sort of a problem, but not really. I think where I went wrong is I'm not eating my right food. This is the food I'm usually eating. So yeah, there we go. My renewed stats. It's kind of what I'd be looking like in PvE. Other than that, my skills. Here we go. I have Structured Entropy. I'm using Inner Blight for I believe max Max Magica, and the spell crit, Breath of Life. It's the only heal I really have on this bar. I just spam Breath of Life on my dual wield bar if I need it. Reason being why Breath of Life is on that bar is because then if I am with a good enough group, I can just use Breath of Life over and over while sticking Dark Flare on an enemy and Radiant Oppression / Jesus Beam. So I throw Structured Entropy on them, hit them with a Dark Flare, Breath of Life if need be, and then I just keep Dark Flare, Radiant Oppression. When I switch to my back bar, I have Puncturing Sweep, so usually I'll throw shards down if it's a big group of enemies or if anyone does need their resources. Throw Ritual Retribution down instantly, just for the heal over time, and just for the small amount of damage that it does do. And my Harness Magicka Shield and Healing Ward. So I throw both shields on. I also use Nova on this back bar. Solar Prison, actually, I don't know, I'm in love with the move. I use Meteor for my front bar. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Throw shards down. I get buffed up. At this point, everyone would pretty much have their spell power cure. As you can see on this guy, actually, his arms just started glowing blue. That's the spell power cure kicking in. So you can see here, I'm actually going to use them as a test dummy. You can see how easy it is to activate spell power cure. And right there, that's 252 weapon and spell damage for you. Then I hit him with my infallible Aether 5-piece trade, and bam, now they're taking 8% more damage. So I mean, this is a really good support class. I've gotten to the end of Maelstrom on my first attempt with this character without any issue, but I'm just not putting out enough deeps for that last part. So I need to figure out something about that, but as far as the champion points go, 67 in the reduced cost. 100 in the Arcanist, 10 in the Tumbling. I have 75 in the Elemental Expert, 75 in the Elfborn, and 27 in the Blessed. Sometimes I take them out of Blessed when I don't have to worry about healing my squad too much. I'll put in the Thaumaturge and I'll be more DPS heavy. And I mean, with the squad that I usually run with, it's not too much of a problem, so I mean, I can be a lot more DPS heavy as a Templar and still heal my group without any issue. But over here in the Warrior, we have 37 in the Hardy and 40 in the Elemental Defender, and I have 100 in the Bastion. It's pretty much my champion point setup. I mean, it's a really simple build. The Infallible Aether might be a little bit hard to acquire, but Spell Power Cure, as long as you have a good enough group that you can really just farm White Gold Tower, you shouldn't have a problem with it really at all. And yeah, thanks for watching. This is an Endgame PvE build.
As I look around, we the realest in the game left.